I know that these kind of topics may be sensitive because people invest their egos to such degree that it becomes a part of them, and a slightest misalignment with those beliefs may cause internal discomfort, and that's why they react outwardly. So I urge you to be open-minded about this video and watch it till the end. You are welcome to share your own opinions, and I am open for any further discussions. Boys, let's talk. This topic has been trending for a while now, and I wanted to give my 2 cents. Ladies, you may like to sit this one out, but you're welcome to join if you want to know something alternative and enlightening. And of course, I'm talking specifically about No Nut November, because YouTube is filled with these topics, and I thought, why not? Besides No Nut November, there are 2 other topics that I wanted to include in this video. NoFap and Semen Retention. So let us go through the definitions of these expressions. NoFap means... NoFap is about restriction from putting hands on yourself. I will talk about the reasonings later on in this video. Semen retention is also about NoFap. And by the way, NoFap is the sound that male organ does when you put your hands on yourself. Supposedly. Sorry, I couldn't brace myself, but this topic is very important, and that's why I will proceed with this. The difference between semen retention and NoFap is that no-fappers are allowed to encounter females. They're just abstaining from masturbating. Whereas those who follow semen retention protocol are not allowed any kind of ejaculation. So what is the No Nut November? It is basically a combination of no-fap and semen retention throughout the whole November month. Legend says that you gain a lot of knowledge and wisdom while not focusing on that part of your life, on the little head, and channeling all your energy through the big head. Man, the amount of men not having sex between 18 to 30 years old have tripled the last decade, from 2009 to 2019. And there are different reasons to this. We know that all Western cultures have become more politically correct. Personal interactions between people have been replaced by internet and social media especially. Intersexual dynamics have been shifted into making the dating scene even more uneven. If before the ways to find a partner was through friends, work colleagues, and other acquaintances, today dating apps have replaced those forums, which makes it easy to just flip up your phone and browse through the potential candidates. I've already done a video about dating in social media age. The major disadvantage falls upon men, because women place emphasis on different cues when it comes to choosing a partner than just the superficial. In fact, the superficial, the looks, is just a part. The qualities women value, like confidence, swagger, charisma, fall short through digital browsing, and thus a lot less men get lucky through those means of finding a partner. The frustration grows, boils, and when that happens, the alternative becomes a computer in the confinements of your own home. Pornography is excess, and no need to jump over the hoops when you already know that you will fail, at least what you think. So if before you were choosing your partner amongst those in your own vicinity, now you compare yourself to people living on the other side of the world. So it becomes easy to just take a step back, not care, and do your own thing. I had a friend who was almost always depressed because he couldn't get the girl that he wanted. And he was living in this sad moment in between, chasing this dream of being with a girl that he wants and not accepting the reality and moving on. That dude was a loner, and he couldn't get the affirmation that he was longing after, which is even more paralyzing because you are not the kind of person who has a lot of friends that you can lean on to. Talk to them and maybe potentially get some kind of a closure. Because at the end of the day, that's what we crave, regardless if it's relevant or not. Me personally, I don't see point in closures. If it doesn't work, we have to move on. Closure puts only nostalgia on that memory frame. Now there's a part where this can be a positive thing, a blessing in disguise. Because if before men just put their whole attention onto courting a woman, making his life revolve around her, now there's no one to put your energy on. So you become restless. No distractions, only your own thoughts about female validation. But after some time, you start to concentrate on yourself, making self-improvement your main concern, which automatically puts you higher up on the scale of desirability. You know how they say, you meet who you are. People that we meet are reflections to our own beliefs, to our worldviews, and oftentimes the outer shell reflects that. And of course, there are many men who resort to these practices because they refuse to deal with women. Men who have been burned very heavily by women, by the state, by the general opinion, and lost everything. And I understand this, I sympathize, and I will give you my point of view on these practices. A lot of times guys acquire this porn addiction because of restlessness, because of purposelessness. They don't know what to do in their lives. They're totally lost. They don't know where to transcend the energy, the drive that testosterone builds up within them. They're confused. They need guidance. Most of addictions are created by echoing emptiness that wants to be filled with something external. And that's where the catastrophe begins. When you feel that your life is unfulfilled, when you don't know where you go from this point on, you want to do everything to stop thinking about this. Thus, you engage in habits that can distract you from the void, from that existential vacuum that you experience. Everything just to make the mind to calm down. So the addictions to self-pleasuring is just a symptom of a deeper underlying problem. In the same manner, you could mention other habits: smoking, drinking alcohol, partying all night, 2 days in a row, every weekend, just so you can escape from yourself for a short moment. And when the new week begins, you will be distracted by your work. So what I'm trying to say, it's not about the tool per se. Everything that is in this life is totally normal. It's the mindset of abusing, of overusing, of misusing is what is wrong. My proposition is to take time for introspection, to take time to know yourself, to understand what makes you tick, to understand where lies the problem. Because by restraining yourself in that manner, it's just a way of torturing yourself. And I understand if some guys say that it has helped them to sharpen their mind, to make them focus. But yet again, there are many other videos who talk about relapsing. And it's like they slip up and then they punish themselves. They shame themselves. They point fingers at themselves for not being enough of a man, for not being good, for not being strong. And that's not a healthy attitude. From that point, it's a negative spiral. My philosophy is to understand, to go to the root of the issue, to find a meaning that will point you to a direction towards self-growth, to a direction of peace. And besides, whether it's NoFap or semen retention, it becomes a thing. It becomes a part of your identification. Whether you want it or not, a part of your focus will always be there, and what you focus on grows. There's a saying, what you lack becomes your God. It's like when you're starving yourself doing fitness. You cut down to minimal percentage of fat. You become obsessed with food. You flip up your laptop. You search for all eating contests and you just watch other people to indulge in hedonistic ways of pleasure. You torture yourself, even though you know you're not going to satisfy your needs. You won't quench your thirst for food. In life, everything has to have a healthy balance. And being a man, we have a lot of testosterone in our system, which makes up for that sexual drive. And we have two main ways to go about it. Either we quench that thirst by indulging in a lot of sexual activities, or we transcend that power, that energy, that drive into something productive, something creative, something purposeful. And yes, your mind will be distracted, but it will be distracted in a positive way, because you are doing something that makes you grow as a human being, as a person. I don't want you to torture yourself. I want you to know where you're going. I want you to use your tools for the right purposes. If you're not satisfied within, you will do everything to try and find external means of dealing with that void. It's like people who are addicted to sugar. They are addicted just because they lack nutrition, not the other way around. When you eat healthy food, the amount that your body needs, you won't be craving sugars. It only happens when you're starved for nutrition and your body sends signal to your brain that you lack energy. And I don't expect any of you who are going through this to flip over your thinking by the snap of your fingers. It's a gradual process and it takes time. I just ask you to be cognizant of that. I just ask you to be aware of your own self, and most importantly, be truthful to yourself. So NoFap, semen retention, no nut November. Do it if it feels that it's the right way. But don't kid yourself that the problem will go away by you ignoring it. There are no problems in life, only opportunities to become better. Abstaining out.